On Sunday afternoon, in the Emirates Stadium, Arsenal will be playing the treble winners in Manchester City. I don't really need to go into how much this means to us, how much this means to our season, to the club. Of course, we lost twice to Man City in the Premier League last season. We slipped to give them the title last season. They won the treble last season. We really need to win this game. This game is as big of a game as a North London derby is for us. So it's huge, it's crucial. Around the world, everyone will be watching. We need to put in a good performance. We need to bounce back after that half-assed performance against Lens. We just have to. It's a crucial game. So as far as head-to-head goes against Man City, I don't even have to say this. I'm sure we all know it's not looking good for us. We've only beat them once in the past 5 games, and that was with a penalty shootout in the Community Shield, when already they had taken off Haaland, and we kind of got lucky. It was a 98th minute goal where Trossard just smacked it, and it deflected his way in. But then since then, they beat us 4-1, 3-1, 1-0, 2-1. They've dominated us. Let's be honest. I think there's been a handful of games we look good against them. Community Shield being one of them. I think that 2-1 win, when was it? 2022, we looked okay, and they got a lucky last-minute goal. But otherwise, they've pretty much dominated us, and especially in the most important games where we lost 3-1 and 4-1 last season. It brings back a little PTSD having to play Man City again. We're at home, so hopefully that helps us in any way, but it's Manchester City under Pep Guardiola. We know what this team's about. We know how good they are. They can play basically anyone, and they will still be so good. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a hard game for us, but we have to try to do something. We have to at least look good. I want us to win, of course. I don't know if I'm expecting us to win. I have to be honest. We just have to look good at least. Put in a good performance. Make us say, you know what, okay, that's a good team. That team can win the title. I'm talking about Arsenal, of course. We have to hope that we can pull out something. We're only 1 point behind them after 7 games. I think we're third on the table on goal difference. Spurs ahead of us, but they're same points as us. Yeah, we're only 1 point off City, but we have to win this game. I think Spurs are going to win this weekend, so we must make sure that we stay on pace. And if we can beat City, we will be second if Spurs win their game, but it will be a huge statement win. More than anything, it will be a huge statement made. We have to go in and put in a good performance. Now, as far as form goes, to be fair, Man City's last 5 games haven't looked that crazy. They haven't been in crazy good form. The last 5 games, they beat Red Star Belgrade 3-1, they beat Nottingham Forest 2-0, they lost to Newcastle 1-0, and they lost to Wolves 2-1 in the Premier League. And then now most recently, they beat RB Leipzig 3-1, where they looked pretty much okay. But against RB Leipzig, they had to rely on an 84th minute goal from Julian Alvarez to give them the second goal, and where they kicked on and got Doku in injury time. Secura, basically. Look, Man City haven't been great. But this is the thing about Man City. They can pull out everything. The most important games, they're going to pull out all the stops. They're going to be ready for it. It's going to be a huge test. I do think City's going to come in, and regardless of their form, a lot like Real Madrid in the Champions League, I think City are like this in the Premier League against big teams. Doesn't matter about their form. They're going to come out and they're going to put in one hell of a performance. We must be prepared for that. Now, as far as form goes for Arsenal, I think I would have said very strong coming into the game had we put in a better performance against Lens, but with that loss in mind, our first loss of the season, I would say it's iffy. We beat PSV 4-0 where we battered PSV. We go against Tottenham and we look okay. We get a 2-2 draw in a game we probably should have won. We then go against Brentford, win 1-0 in a game that was more close than it should have been. And then we go and smash Bournemouth 4-0. But then right after that, we go and lose to Lens 2-1, where we had a horrible performance. We didn't look good. Saka, we don't know with his injuries, but that made it even worse with the game. Listen, our form isn't great, but here's the thing. We've come off a loss, we're at home, and we're going against Man City. There's 2 ways we can do it. We can either go in there and be scared to lose and try to sit back, or just try to play them a little bit, but we're fearful of them and they beat us, they smack us around the park. Or because we lost, we can go in there with the mentality of you get 1 game against Man City at home and we have to go and win this game with, that builds up aggression. We have to have that mentality. If we will, I don't know. Again, it's still a fairly young team. Hopefully we can bounce back against Lens and beat Man City, but yeah, this is a tall order to go out and go beat them. Now, as far as injuries and suspensions go for Arsenal, it's kind of iffy. We don't really know what our team might look like on Sunday. Of course, Timber won't be in the game. And Saka is apparently going to have a late fitness test before the game, whether that be Saturday evening or Sunday morning, we don't know. Apparently, he's tweaked his hamstring. Hopefully, he's okay. but I think it's going to be a tough game if we can't have Saka start. Martinelli, I don't think he was back in training yet. Hopefully, after the time of recording, he is. I don't expect him to start. I maybe expect him to make a bench appearance. But otherwise, I don't think injury-wise we're too bad. We have been worse. Partey is back from injury, and I low-key expect Partey to start with Declan in the midfield. But we'll talk about that later. So injuries-wise, we don't really know what we're going to be looking like, but we kind of have an idea, and the Bukayo Saka fitness test is so important. Man City, obviously De Bruyne's going to be out for a decent amount of time, so he's not going to be making the game, which I suppose is a benefit for us because De Bruyne rips us apart every time he gets the chance to. And Rodri's obviously suspended for that stupid foul he made, or not even a foul, it was after the foul against Forest maybe? Yeah, that stupid little aggression he had. So Rodri won't make it, and for me that's a game-changing move. Rodri is so important to City, a lot like how good Declan Rice is for us, Rodri is for them, except Rodri's probably more crucial for them. It's going to be interesting to see how they play against us without Rodri and De Bruyne. Both of them are really good against us, both of them score late-minute winners against us, so hopefully, I'm just trying to be hopeful here, that those guys not playing means that we play better and that City play worse. I don't know, probably not, but it's the hope that kills you. Now into the starting 11 that I would have for Arsenal. It's always the same thing every game. I don't know what Arteta is going to do. Is it good? Is it a bad thing? I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. Kind of have an idea, but I mean, only Arteta knows. The starting 11 that I'm going to give you guys is my starting 11 that I would have. My starting 11, so I'm not predicting the starting 11. I'm just giving you my opinion on what I would want. So in goal, I've been saying Ramsdale this whole time. Instead, I'm going to say Raya. I think Raya is going to start. That's a prediction more than anything. I just think Raya is the number one keeper. Although, like I've been saying, I think it's time for Ramsdale to come back to the number one position. Raya's looked okay in recent games. He had that mistake against Lens. I think if Raya has a questionable performance against Man City, Ramsdale has to be a starting keeper again. But anyway, I think Raya will start. In left back, I think it's pretty obvious. I think Zinchenko, there's not much else to be said there. Hopefully he has a better performance than he did against Lens because he's been so good for us this season, but he did not look good against Lens. Right back, I think it's going to be quite obvious. It'll be Ben White. I don't need to say much more. His overlapping runs are beautiful. He's a really good defender. He's a decent handler of the ball, He's decent in control of the ball, should I say. Centre-backs, obviously, I think will be Saliba and Gabriel. Saliba, one of the best centre-backs in the world, and Gabriel is an elite centre-back in his own right. I think the normal back line would be seen with Raya in goal. Now, here's the thing. Here's the tricky part, and I think I'm going to be completely wrong, but this is what I would do. For me, the midfield, and it may be a little too defensive for some of you, but this is what I think. I would have Thomas Partey starting with Declan Rice in midfield. I know we should have a Havertz start, or Vieira, or Smith Rowe next to Odegaard. Obviously, Odegaard will be in the midfield with me, so it's Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, Odegaard. I just think that that's good. I think what I would do, though, is I'd have Partey probably push a little higher, and Declan Rice maybe sit, or vice versa, because both of them are adept and can play the number 8 position. Declan Rice probably better. We saw it against Man City in the Community Shield, where Declan Rice and Thomas Partey were playing in the midfield together with Odegaard. Havertz was playing at the number 9 position. But that's how I would have it. I'd have a reasonably defensive midfield just because I think City are so good in the small, tight pockets, and we need to kill that space. And I think the best way to do it is to have 2 CDMs. Even though it might hurt our attack a little more, I just think it's crucial in a game like this to be solid defensively. So I'd play it safe. I'd have Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, and obviously Martin Odegaard, who hopefully can have an elite game. And then my front 3, it all depends on Martinelli. Martinelli's probably not going to be fit enough to start anyway. I'm going to still have Trossard start. I know he wasn't great midweek, but I would still start him because he's probably our best left winger available. I love Reece Nelson, but I don't know if he's ready to start against Man City. Smith Rowe can play the wing position, but he's not ready to start against Man City. Vieira, he's not a winger. Don't know why I played wing midweek. He's not starting against Man City. So for me, left wing would be Leandro Trossard if Martinelli is not ready to start. And if Saka obviously is fit, Saka starts for me. He just has to for me. But if he's not, this is the tricky point. I know I said Reece Nelson isn't ready to start, but I think if Saka is not fit, I don't want Jesus playing on the wing. Jesus is a number 9 and Ketia should be on the bench. Straight up like that. So what I would do if Saka's not ready, maybe have Reece Nelson start at left wing, Leandro on the right, Jesus down the middle. But if Saka is ready, Leandro on the left, Saka on the right, Jesus down the middle. So although I said I don't think Nelson's ready to start, if he has to, I think he'll do well enough. And he won't look like a weak point for us. He's been very good when he comes off the bench. Hopefully, he doesn't need to start, but if he has to, I don't mind that at all. I don't want to see Vieira starting. Don't think Havertz should start. I love Smith Rowe, but I don't think he's ready to start. But yeah, that's my starting 11. Let me know in the comments how you guys see the game playing out. What starting 11 would you have in the game? What is your predictions for the game? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.